Gavin's first love was dying. I was lying on the operating table due to a difficult childbirth when I heard the news. Gavin took off his surgical gown and said to his colleague, "Please take care of my wife and unborn child." Then, he left without looking back. Watching Gavin's receding figure, a tear slowly slid from the corner of my eye. The next second, the cold scalpel touched my skin. His colleague's steady voice echoed in the operating room, "Don't be afraid, I'm still here." Gavin almost unhesitatingly took off his surgical gown and walked quickly outside. "I have an emergency and can't perform this surgery. Please get Ethan." As soon as he received the call that Mira was in trouble, Gavin, who had always loved me dearly, urgently stopped my surgery. He didn't even glance at me and started taking off his clothes and gloves. From his back, I could feel his infinite worry and fear. His hands were shaking as he took off his clothes. Mira was in trouble, and he was extremely scared, wishing he could be by her side right now. If he weren't my husband and I weren't giving birth to his child, I probably wouldn't mind his concern for others. "Dr. Gavin, your wife is having a difficult childbirth. If we don't operate immediately, the child might. Are you sure you want to leave?" The pain in my abdomen was surprisingly overshadowed by the pain in my heart. I got a moment to catch my breath. "Let him go. The surgery doesn't necessarily have to be done by him." As soon as I said that, everyone in the operating room looked at me with eyes full of sympathy. I lowered my eyes. The day Mira returned to the country, the day Gavin didn't come home all night, I knew that our marriage might have come to an end. Now that he knew Mira was dying, how could Gavin calmly perform the surgery for me? Even though this surgery concerned me and our unborn child, he couldn't do it. In that case, it was better to let him go. After all, entrusting my life to someone like that was quite frightening. As Gavin opened the door to leave the operating room, a tall figure brushed past him. It was his colleague, Ethan. "Please take care of Vivian and her unborn child. If I don't go now, I'll never forgive myself." Watching his receding figure, a tear slowly slid from the corner of my eye. Vivian, how pitiful. The next second, the cold scalpel touched my skin. Ethan's steady voice echoed in the operating room, "Don't be afraid, I'm still here." The surgery lasted nearly 3 hours. In the end, the child couldn't be saved. I looked at the drizzling rain outside the window without saying a word. Ethan would check on me every half hour and specially arranged for a nurse to stay with me at all times. They were afraid I might do something drastic. When Gavin called, a sharp pain shot through my abdomen. Enduring the pain, I answered the phone, only to hear a sweet and lively voice, "Sister Vivian, I'm sorry. It's all because my friend exaggerated and said the wrong thing. I just accidentally ate a mango and had an allergic reaction." I didn't expect Gavin to rush over without hesitation. "He's just being too cautious. I've already scolded him for you." The next second, her coquettish scolding came through, "You're about to be a father, but you still act like an impulsive kid, not reliable at all. Do you think we're still in our school romance days? There's one durian milfy left. Take it to your wife as an apology." "Ah, don't grab it." After a burst of noise, the phone seemed to be back in Gavin's hands. His voice became clear. "If it itches, I'll blow on it for you. If you scratch it secretly, don't cry if you get scars later. She doesn't like durian. You can keep it for yourself. I bought it for you anyway." While Gavin was speaking, Myra's friend was complaining. "How is this my fault? I just said you accidentally ate a mango," and he anxiously asked for the address. "I don't want to be part of your little game. Please don't involve me." The pain in my lower abdomen suddenly became unbearable. It felt like a pair of hands were tearing at my flesh, trying to devour me. I opened my mouth to tell Gavin that the child was gone, but I swallowed the words back. Perhaps this was fate. A marriage that was hard to maintain couldn't provide a happy and complete family for the child. So, even the child didn't want to be born. I touched my already flat abdomen, gave a self-mocking smile, and hung up the phone without a word. After burying the child's ashes, I prepared to move to the arranged postpartum care center. When I was discharged, Gavin came to pick me up. As usual, I opened the back seat door. The scene inside made me freeze. Mira was resting her head on Gavin's lap, sleeping soundly, while Gavin was gently stroking her hair with a tenderness I had never seen before. Perhaps hearing the noise, Mira rubbed her eyes and sat up. Seeing me, she shyly patted Gavin's arm and said coquettishly, "Didn't I tell you to wake me up when we arrived?" Now I'd been seen like this by an outsider, how embarrassing. After saying that, she turned to look at me with a faint challenge in her eyes. "Sister-in-law, don't misunderstand. I was just too sleepy and borrowed Gavin's lap to rest on." Gavin reached out to adjust the slipped shoulder strap on her shoulder and coldly scolded, "Don't talk nonsense. It wouldn't be good if your sister-in-law misunderstands." Then he looked at me, "She's childish. She gets sleepy as soon as she gets in the car and ended up leaning on me while sleeping." He said it frankly, and I didn't doubt him. He had told me about Mira a long time ago, saying they were already in the past. But no one said the past couldn't become the future. I smiled and didn't respond. In the end, I sat in the front with the driver, while Gavin and Mira sat in the back. 5 minutes after the car started, Gavin seemed to remember the reason for picking me up today. He looked around and asked strangely, "Where's the child? Have you already sent him to the postpartum care center?" Hearing his question, my heart skipped a beat. In the rearview mirror, his expression was normal, as if he really didn't know that the child was gone. It was on the day he paused the surgery for his white moonlight. The child was gone. Dr. Ethan said that if it had been 10 minutes earlier, the child might have been saved. Thinking of this, an uncontrollable anger surged in my heart. I turned to the driver and shouted sternly, "Stop the car." After the car stopped, I turned to look at Mira, who was smiling and talking to Gavin. "Get out." Myra's face stiffened, and she forced a smile. "Sister-in-law, I said, get out." I interrupted her without waiting for her to finish. Seeing this, Mira bit her lip and looked at Gavin. "Gavin, it's all your fault. Sister-in-law seems angry with me." Gavin's expression remained unchanged. "Then we won't send you today." Mira was stunned, and the smile on her face almost disappeared. She didn't get up immediately and sat there for a long time. It was so long that Gavin opened his mouth several times while looking at me. I remained unmoved and instead opened the car door for her. "Miss Mira, please." Myra's expression changed several times, and finally, she got out of the car with red eyes. As soon as she left, I immediately told the driver to drive. Through the rearview mirror, I could see Gavin's unhappy expression and Mira, who accidentally twisted her ankle while getting out of the car. After the car had driven a long distance, Gavin slowly said, "I know you're angry at her because of the surgery. But it's completely unnecessary. After all, saving lives is my duty. She was in trouble at that time and Gavin, let's get a divorce." I was impatient with his long speech and directly stated my thoughts. Gavin suddenly sat up straight, frowning at me. "I know you've just given birth and your emotions are unstable. Let's talk about it when you're more stable. I'm on leave recently, so I can spend time with you and the child." I didn't look back at him, just gazed at the moving crowd outside the window. I suddenly didn't want to tell him about the child. Let him find out slowly in the future, it might be more stimulating. How wicked, I thought. When we arrived at the entrance of the confinement center, Gavin left without even getting out of the car, saying he had something urgent to do. I was in a trance as I watched the car disappear from my sight. My marriage to Gavin was an accident. It could be counted on one hand. At that time, Mira broke up with him because she was going abroad, and to spite her, he married me after only meeting me 5 times. I don't know when I fell in love with Gavin. By the time I realized it, we had been married for a year. Perhaps it was love that grew over time. Or maybe it was when I had a high fever and he held my hand all night with his warm hands, making my heart unconsciously lean towards him. I remember he said, "Don't worry, I'll take good care of you." But who would have thought that in just 2 years, the man who promised to take good care of me would appear on someone else's Facebook on the day I was discharged from the hospital. Under the guidance of the staff, I checked into the postpartum care center and lay down on the bed. When I opened my phone, the first thing I saw was Myra's Facebook. Her ankle was wrapped in gauze. Caption: although I was left halfway, I got the benefit of Dr. Gavin personally bandaging my wound. Happy. In less than a minute, that Facebook post disappeared. A new one appeared: Dr. Gavin still likes to play daddy so much. Alright, next time I'll obediently stand there and wait for you to come back and pick me up. This time, the picture was her selfie. Slightly swollen lips and a flushed face. On the table beside her was Gavin's cufflink, which I had given him on our wedding anniversary. A taste of blood spread in my mouth, and I realized I had bitten my lip. I threw the phone on the bed. The next second, I picked it up again, liked the post, and commented, "The cufflink is very special." Then I turned off the phone and placed it on the bedside table. I slept for a long time, and in my dream, I could still hear the child babbling "mommy." When I woke up, my eyes were slightly wet. I turned on the phone, and the missed call notifications kept ringing, from both Gavin and Mira. I ordered dinner service. While eating, Gavin called again. "Vivian, why was your phone turned off?" I was tired and needed rest. Hearing this, there was a moment of silence on the other end, as if he didn't know how to respond. I wasn't in a hurry and ate slowly. Before I finished a piece of rib, Myra's voice came through. "I'm sorry, sister-in-law. I twisted my ankle and went to see a doctor. I happened to meet Gavin, and he helped me with it. Please don't overthink it." Hearing her words, I laughed. Did they really think I was that stupid? When did I say I was overthinking? Your eager explanation makes it seem like you're admitting guilt. Choked by my words, Mira stopped talking. Instead, Gavin spoke up, "Vivian, watch your words. Mira is just recording her life. If you don't like it, just don't look at it. There's no need to make things difficult for her." After saying that, perhaps feeling his tone was bad, he added, "Rest well at the postpartum care center. Later, I'll bring Vivian to see you and the child." What responded to him was a long silence. I hung up the phone, and the originally delicious food suddenly became tasteless. I took out the unfinished small cape and continued knitting. It would still be useful for the full moon. Gavin and I fell into a cold war. I stayed at the postpartum care center for over a week, and he didn't visit me once. Some gossipy mothers privately said I was a kept mistress. Others said I had lost my husband. Every time I heard it, I just smiled and didn't explain. 2 weeks after I was discharged, I brought a banner to the hospital for Ethan. "Thank you for the surgery." Although the child wasn't saved, I knew it wasn't his fault. If he hadn't arrived in time, perhaps I wouldn't be standing here properly either. Ethan was wearing a mask, making it hard to see his expression. But from his eyes, I could see his apology. I smiled and handed him the banner, asking with a smile, "I've been sleeping poorly lately. Can you prescribe some medicine for me?" It was more than just poor sleep. I could hardly sleep at night. Every time I closed my eyes, I could hear the nurse's exclamations in the operating room, "The child isn't breathing. And that little purple face." How could I sleep? Hearing this, Dr. Ethan nodded. Later, I asked Ethan for medicine several times. Over time, some rumors quietly emerged. I didn't care about these, and Ethan didn't say anything, but Gavin, whom I hadn't seen for a long time, was very concerned. He called, "Vivian, how long are you going to make a fuss? If you're sick, why don't you come to me? Why do you have to go to Ethan? Do you know how ugly those rumors are?" His voice was loud, and even without the speaker on, the angry tone was clear enough for everyone in the clinic to hear. I calmly retorted, "Aren't you on leave? Or has your leave ended?" Gavin fell silent. He had been accompanying Mira to her art exhibitions recently and was reluctant to leave. Mira recorded every stop of their trip on Facebook. After hanging up the phone, I smiled apologetically at Ethan. I'm sorry for involving you. Ethan shook his head and said something that made my jaw drop. Would you like to have dinner together tonight? Huh? I looked at him in a daze. Ethan pushed his phone towards me. Class reunion. Gavin will be there too. Yes, and you can bring family. So that's it. As family, it wouldn't be strange for me to attend the reunion. For some reason, I agreed. However, Gavin, who had clearly said in the group that he would attend the reunion, didn't show up. Seeing me alone, his old classmates looked at me with sympathy. During the meal, everyone tacitly avoided mentioning Gavin. Halfway through the meal, everyone's phones rang at the same time. Ethan was sitting next to me. His phone was on the table, and I saw the message at a glance. In the photo, Gavin was kissing a woman. The next second, the photo was retracted. At the same time, Gavin explained, "Sorry, my wife sent the wrong message." Suddenly, everyone's eyes were on me. No one spoke, and the atmosphere was extremely awkward. At the end of the reunion, a few female classmates who worked at the same hospital as Gavin came to comfort me. You've just lost your child. Take good rest during this time and don't overthink. I nodded silently. Since I went with Ethan, he also drove me back. I was still staying at the postpartum care center. When the car stopped at the entrance, I thanked Ethan and got out. As soon as I opened the car door, I saw Gavin standing not far away. Seeing me, he strode over. Vivian, do you know what you're doing? You're already a mother, and you're still thinking about seducing others. I'm telling you, if you dare to do anything out of line, you'll never see the child again in your life. It was the first time I saw Gavin so angry. His eyes were almost spitting fire. He grabbed my wrist tightly and pulled me out of Ethan's car. I struggled to shake off his hand and looked at him calmly. Don't touch me. Dr. Ethan and I are innocent. Gavin's eyes were full of doubt, obviously not believing my words. Looking at his angry face, I suddenly remembered the photo I saw while eating. I looked into his eyes and said mockingly, "We didn't kiss." What are you imagining? Whether it was guilt or fear, he backed down. He stepped back a few paces, checked his phone, and after confirming that I wasn't in that classmate group, he glared at me again. While he was checking, I embarrassedly thanked Ethan. Dr. Ethan, thank you for sending me back. Be safe on your way back. After Ethan left, I turned and walked towards the postpartum care center. Suddenly, Gavin reached out and grabbed me. Vivian, let's talk. Before he could finish, I slapped him hard. The crisp sound of the slap attracted the attention of the front desk staff. Gavin, get out of my sight. I feel disgusted just looking at you. And about the divorce, you'd better agree quickly. Don't force me to sue you in court. After saying these two sentences, I turned and left without looking back. After that day, the rumors about me at the postpartum care center changed. After discovering her husband's affair, she angrily aborted the child and pursued freedom as a strong woman. I accepted this gladly. Although it was somewhat different from the truth, I did want to pursue freedom. But Gavin obviously didn't. After that day, he took the initiative to end the Cold War and wanted to come to the postpartum care center to take care of me, but I refused. After that, he called and texted me every day using the child as an excuse. Vivian, I haven't seen the baby yet. Take some photos and send them to me. Vivian, Mom and Dad overseas also miss their grandchild. Take some videos and send them to them. Vivian, for the sake of the baby, let's make up. Vivian. I laughed with tears more than once. Where did we have a baby? As a father and a doctor, he still didn't know the truth. It was ridiculous. After staying at the postpartum care center for a month, I moved back home. On the day I returned, Gavin took a special leave. He had the house filled with flowers and various baby supplies. Seeing me alone, he looked behind me strangely. Why are you back alone? Where's the baby? I glanced at him and said calmly, the baby isn't coming back. Gavin was stunned, then pretended to understand. Did you send him to your parents' house? We really don't know how to take care of a child, and my parents are overseas, so we had to trouble your parents. Let's go see the baby and your parents tomorrow? We can bring these things over. Hearing his words, I looked at the room full of baby supplies and felt it was ironic. The depression in my heart was hard to relieve, and my temper flared. I pushed Gavin away and threw all the baby supplies on the floor, even stepping on them a few times to vent. Vivian, are you crazy? These are all gifts from Mira for our child. He hurriedly tried to say the things and subconsciously pushed me away. Caught off guard, my stomach hit the coffee table hard. Instantly, intense pain came from my abdomen, and a wetness came from the wound that hadn't fully healed. The wound seemed to have reopened. Without hesitation, I covered my stomach and planned to go to the hospital. This time, Gavin noticed my pale face and asked with slight concern, "What's wrong with you?" I ignored his concern. While walking, I opened the ride-hailing app. Gavin saw the destination I entered, picked up his phone, and caught up. "Are you feeling unwell? Don't be stubborn at this time. I'll take you to the hospital." Just then, his phone rang. It was Mira. I quickly pressed his phone and said word by word, "Don't answer. Take me to the hospital first." I couldn't bear it anymore. The phone rang persistently again and again. While waiting for the elevator, he couldn't help but answer. As soon as the call connected, Myra's terrified scream came through, "Gavin, save me. There's a thief in the house, and I'm home alone. I'm so scared." Gavin's face changed instantly. He forgot what he was supposed to do and forgot that I also needed care. He rushed into the elevator and kept pressing the close button without even looking at me. I couldn't hold on any longer and fainted on the ground. It was the neighbors who took me to the hospital. When they returned home, they happened to see me fainted at the elevator entrance. The attending doctor was still Ethan. He looked at me disapprovingly. "How could you be so careless? If you hadn't been sent to the hospital in time, you might never be able to be a mother again." Hearing this, I subconsciously touched my abdomen. Seeing that I didn't speak, the nurse who came in with me took my hand. "You must take good care of your body now and not overexert yourself. Where is Dr. Gavin? You need care now. Why didn't he come with you?" "No, I have to call him." Saying that, she picked up my phone and called Gavin. The call was answered quickly, but it wasn't Gavin who answered, it was Mira. "Vivian, so what if you married him and had his child?" I just beckoned, and he came running. "Did you really think you could replace me? He hasn't touched you for a long time, has he? But he's very passionate with me." The speakerphone made the voice particularly clear in the ward. The nurse's eyes widened, and she quickly hung up the phone. Seeing everyone in the ward looking at her, her face stiffened. Phew, why did it feel like she was the one having an affair? Haha, I dialed the wrong number just now. I'll call again. Nervously, she called again, but heard the mechanical electronic sound. It was turned off. Everyone's gaze shifted from the phone to me, with pity, sympathy, and gossip in their eyes. I lowered my eyes to look at the wedding ring on my hand and said emotionlessly, "Gavin has cheated and won't come to take care of me. I'll have to trouble you all during this time." After saying that, I took off the wedding ring and threw it into the trash can. Trash belongs in the trash can. Since Gavin cheated, his colleagues should know. I just wonder if the aloof Dr. Gavin can still be so high and mighty when his marital scandal is exposed. On the third day of my rehospitalization, Gavin finally came to see me. He rushed in anxiously, holding my hand and looking me up and down with concern in his eyes. "Vivian, are you okay?" Glancing at the red mark on his neck, I withdrew my hand. "How did you know I was here?" As soon as I arrived at the hospital, the head nurse told me. The head nurse was the sister who enthusiastically helped call that day. Seeing me frown, he comforted, "Don't overthink it. We already have a child. Even if I won't despise you." Mira suddenly appeared at this moment, with a sweet and apologetic smile on her face. I'm sorry, sister-in-law. I didn't know your body hadn't recovered yet. If I had known, I wouldn't have called Gavin that night. It's also because he was too nervous about me. I just called, and he rushed over and insisted on staying with me for a few days. Really? From her words, it was not hard to tell that she was very proud now. Proud of Gavin's availability at her beck and call, proud of Gavin's neglect of me, proud. But she didn't know that because of that night's call, she had already become the focus of gossip in the hospital these past few days. Everyone was eager to see her true face. At this moment, hearing her words, people in the ward began to exchange glances. Some even pretended to make phone calls while actually taking pictures of her. The shameless mistress had shown her face, and they had to take pictures to show others. Sensing the strange atmosphere around her, Mira frowned slightly but didn't think much of it. Looking at the pride and provocation on her face, I gave a mocking smile. Seeing this, Gavin unhappily shielded Mira behind him. Vivian, what are you laughing at? Mira is also worried about you and came with me to visit you. She even brought some baby supplies for our baby. Even if you don't thank her, you still laugh. The child is dead. Don't you know? I interrupted him, my face as calm as if I were talking about what I had for lunch. Gavin looked at me in disbelief. What did you say? His eyes kept scanning my face, probably trying to find evidence that I was lying. After a while, he frowned and scolded coldly, Vivian, that's your child too. How can you curse your own child to death? The ward was silent inside and out. I smiled mockingly, you still know it's your child? When you left me and the child in the operating room, did you think about that? The child was gone when you paused the surgery for Mira. Dr. Ethan said it was just 10 minutes short. With every sentence I said, Gavin's face darkened. The onlookers also started discussing in low voices. He killed his child for the mistress. This man is so inhuman. Exactly. He didn't even know the child was dead and now brings the mistress to show off in front of his wife. It's disgusting. Gavin froze. He looked at Ethan standing not far away. Is what she said true? The child really? Yes. Ethan nodded. The head nurse couldn't stand it anymore and stood up, pointing at Gavin and scolding, Dr. Gavin, we've been colleagues for several years, and I want to speak for you, but look at what you've done. Is that human? You didn't know the child was gone and didn't care about your wife. I called you last night, and it was this mistress behind you who answered. The most hateful thing is, she even said you were in her bed and very passionate with her. It's so shameful. How can you be a husband and a father? After the head nurse finished, everyone present that night stood up to echo her. For a moment, the whole room was in an uproar. Gavin stiffly turned his head to look at Mira, with emotions in his eyes that I couldn't understand. Myra's face was pale, feeling that everyone around was pointing at her. She waved her hands in panic, explaining, no, I didn't. They're ganging up to frame me. Gavin, you believe me, right? Whether Gavin believed her or not, I didn't know. But I certainly didn't. I said coldly, so many people heard what you said. Does Miss Mira think we all had auditory hallucinations? Gavin, for the mistress you've been longing for, you harmed your own child. Are you very proud? Mira left crying. Unfortunately, no one felt sorry for her. The hospital, with all kinds of people coming and going every day, was always the best place for gossip. In just half a day, the love-hate story of me, Gavin, and Mira had spread to every corner of the hospital. Myra's identity as a somewhat famous new generation painter online was also exposed. Under her social media accounts, there were all kinds of ugly comments. I thought she was okay at painting, but I didn't expect her to be even better at being a mistress. Why not cancel the art exhibition and start a live stream sharing her mistress experience? I'll definitely go throw a rotten egg. When I went to the art exhibition, I saw the mistress and that man. She even said he was her husband. I didn't expect it was a husband she stole. Disgusting. I'll never look at her paintings again. Permanently blacklisted. For a while, news of boycotting Mira rushed to the hot search. The next night, Mira sneaked into my ward. As soon as she saw me, she knelt on the ground and begged for forgiveness. Sister Vivian, we're both Gavin's women. Why make things difficult for each other? I know you don't like me. As long as you help me clarify the truth this time, I'll leave Gavin immediately and promise never to see him again. You want me to help you clarify? I looked down at her. She was crying bitterly, as if she were family. Please, help me this once, just once. You don't have to do anything, just say I didn't say those words. I'll find a reporter myself. Hearing her words, I almost wanted to applaud her. I bent down and patted her pitiful face, saying calmly, Mira, do you really think I don't dare to hit you? Without waiting for her reaction, I grabbed her hair and dragged her out. I dragged her all the way to the hospital lobby. Miss Mira, if you and Gavin are in love, I can let you have him, but please don't harass me anymore. For your noble love, I've already lost my child, so I can't forgive you, nor can I forgive Gavin. So if you need someone to clarify, you've probably found the wrong person. When Gavin heard the news and rushed over, I had just finished speaking. Among the countless onlookers, I looked straight at him. Gavin, please manage your darling. Otherwise, I can't guarantee what I might do. After all, I'm just a woman who lost her child and might go crazy at any time. After saying that, I turned and left. Behind me, I could hear Gavin's impotent rage. I didn't look back. I have to say, netizens are always at the forefront of gossip. An hour later, I saw the follow-up online. Gavin pulled Mira into the office. Even through a door, their conversation could still be heard. Mira was crying sadly, Brother Gavin, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have come back to the country because I missed you. But whenever I think that the person by your side isn't me, I go crazy with jealousy. I love you, and you love me. We're meant to be together. Enough. Gavin's voice was cold. Remember, you're just the mistress. Myra's incredulous voice rang out, I'm not. The one who isn't loved is the mistress. You love me. The mistress should be that woman Vivian. When did I say I love you? Between you and me, isn't it just for desire? The one I love has always been only my wife. I never knew Gavin had such a harsh side. Obviously, Mira didn't know either. She broke down. I don't believe it. You're lying to me. You love me. Let's leave here together and live abroad. We'll get married. If you like children, I'll give you the cutest child. Don't mention the child. Gavin's tone was indifferent. Mira, look at yourself. You really look like a madwoman. I hate mad women. The recording ended there. Below were all comments cursing Mira and Gavin. One comment said, love is the least worth mentioning. When it doesn't involve his interests, he can love you and abandon his wife and child for you. But once interests are involved, you become the first item he abandons. I liked it. Because of the videos and recordings exposed one after another, Mira was completely ruined. Her art exhibitions that hadn't started yet were directly cancelled. Merchants and publishers who had cooperated with her blocked her doorstep every day, demanding compensation for the losses caused by the breach of contract. I heard she tried to find Gavin several times but was turned away. Obviously, she was abandoned. For his own sake. At first, I could still receive her texts begging for forgiveness, which later turned into curses and maledictions. After blocking her several times, I never received any news about Mira again. Nor did I see her again. On the day I was discharged, Gavin appeared at the hospital entrance looking haggard. He looked at me with pleading eyes. Vivian, get in the car first. I'll take you home. I glanced at him, walked over, and threw the divorce agreement in Gavin's face. Sorry, I feel disgusted just seeing you. Please don't appear in front of me. By the way, you cheated first, so you're at fault. I hope you can leave with nothing. Don't object. I don't want us to make each other unhappy. Gavin let the divorce agreement hit his face without dodging. Just as I was about to turn and leave, he knelt down with a thud. Wife, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me this once. I'm sorry about the child. I know you're very angry. You can hit me or scold me, but please don't divorce me, okay? I really can't live without you. We'll have children again in the future, I promise. We'll have 1, no, 3 children. As many as you like. Mira has been sent abroad by me. She'll never appear in front of you again in her life, I swear. Wife, I've already lost the child. I can't lose you too. He spoke with such sincerity, coupled with his scruffy beard and thin figure, that he attracted sympathy from many uninformed people. I heard someone say he was affectionate. I smiled. I didn't expect that the one who betrayed love first could transform into a synonym for affectionate. He continued, Vivian, do you remember on our first wedding anniversary, you spent hours looking for the cake I loved, and didn't come home until after 9 in the evening? I looked calm. I didn't forget. That day you said you wanted fresh durian milfai, and I went to buy it specially. How could I forget? Later, I found out that the durian milfai was Myra's favorite. Gavin's eyes were nostalgic. You don't know how moved I was at that time. From that day on, I decided in my heart that you are my only wife in this life. And enough. I looked at him with some impatience. Gavin, I don't want to hear you reminisce about the past. We're not in a TV drama where we can rewind. When you were entangled with Mira, all the beautiful memories turned into swords that killed me, and I was the one you killed. The moment the child was gone, I died, and our memories died too. I no longer looked at his face, which was contorted with pain. We've been husband and wife, so let's leave each other some dignity. After saying that, I didn't stay any longer. Someone nearby recognized Gavin and pointed at him, talking about his glorious deeds. The month I got the divorce certificate, Gavin was fired by the hospital. Originally, it was just a matter of conduct, and the hospital suspended him. But the incident of him pausing the surgery for Mira was exposed online, and netizens began to attack him and his hospital indiscriminately. In the end, the hospital couldn't withstand the pressure and fired him. He came to our old home to look for me a few times, but I didn't see him. Later, I got annoyed. It happened that my self-media had achieved some success, and I planned to go back to my hometown to help the elderly left in the village bring their agricultural products out of the mountains. So I sold the house and took my parents back to live in my hometown. After knowing that I had left, Gavin pestered the buyer many times to ask about my whereabouts, but to no avail. Life in the countryside was monotonous but also beautiful. On rainy days, I followed the village elders to pick wild mushrooms in the mountains, which was wonderful. I tried to record these beautiful moments on my self-media account and received good feedback. In the 3rd month after moving back to my hometown, I helped the villagers sell their first agricultural product, a box of free-range eggs. It only sold for 50 yuan. But I knew this road was long, and I could walk it for a long time. The last time I heard news about Gavin was a year later. A good friend got married, and I returned to Suching. While attending the wedding banquet, I happened to hear the discussion at the next table. Gavin had a car accident while out drinking. When he was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment, the doctor and nurse happened to be arguing, and the doctor left angrily. The surgery was interrupted for 2 hours. It was during those 2 hours that his leg couldn't be saved, and he would spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair. Sigh, I heard he's almost gone mad now, smashing things at home all day. The caregivers have changed several times. I say he deserves it. I heard his child died because he paused the surgery. Now it's karma. I turned back to look at the girl speaking. I didn't know her. Shaking my head, I stopped listening to the gossip behind me and looked at my happy friend on the stage. The past is already past. My life now is good and happy. As for the past pains, I haven't forgotten them, I've just hidden them in my heart.